Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind.
Shh. I don't want to say anything.
May I ask what the conversation?
The two women, Jessica and Chelsea, are in the lounge, and both of them are talking with various different friends, and they're trying to be quiet because they don't want, they don't want to get into it with each other. Yeah, in regular life, you wouldn't have to sit in a room, even if you knew that the other person exists. If you're dating someone, I suppose you wouldn't be in a situation like this, or not typically. But anyway, so they are maybe out of habit or trying to be respectful to the other person or just to lay low. Both of them are not revealing. I have an impulse, if I were one of them, to just have some connection because it's so awkward, Like if I were Chelsea, I would at least have the impulse to go over to Jessica and say, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I like you and but we both know the situation right now. And if you want to talk, we can talk. But it feels weird to not acknowledge what's happening right now. And I don't have any ill will towards you at all. And we just have to wait and see what he's going to say, So I would have that. But so this kind of clicky thing that's happening right now, it feels like it runs the risk of each person developing this narrative that the other person is against them, because there's not any confirmation otherwise. You might think like, are they, and then you see them talking with other people, it just lends itself to some bad feelings and escalation. So I don't know, but maybe this is for the best. It's just better to let's just lay low. I don't know. What would you do?
That you had today?
I told him yesterday my feelings for him, and our date was literally perfect, but he didn't really give a response to it, and I was okay with that because typically it takes him a minute.
I'm also wondering if we're seeing some kind of bifurcation of the women, like there's factions, or you would imagine that there would be, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe just randomly who was sitting in those areas happened to be the people that would be the listeners to each person.
Baby, you gotta go today. It's time to go. It's my mission to protect you.
Wait, so let me turn on the, it sounded like she said it's time to go. What?
Baby, you gotta go today. It's time to go. It's my mission to protect you.
Her name is Laura, and she is telling Jessica it's time, so Laura just heard from, you know what I mean? This is, the whole conversation just sounds so middle school. But anyway, so Chelsea just was asked by the other women, what's going on? There's a lot of that going, which, is supportive, but it almost also feels a little like, I don't know. I don't want to accuse them of being gossips or something, but this certainly kind of looks weird. Anyway, let's look at this. So then Laura asks Chelsea, what's going on? Chelsea says, well, he told me that he loved me. And then she doesn't know what to do with that. So then Chelsea walks away, maybe goes to the bathroom or something. I don't know. It looked almost like Chelsea was going to cry and didn't want to do that in front of Jessica. You know what I mean? It would just be so easier if they could just say, hey, let's acknowledge, and we're all together. There's no animosity. There shouldn't, but maybe there is. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they secretly hate each other. We haven't seen any scenes regarding that, to my memory anyway. But so then Laura hears, oh, so he says that he loves you, Chelsea. And I think Laura knows from Jessica that hasn't been said to Jessica. And it should be noted that that Jimmy was clear to Chelsea and that he said, I'm not saying that I want to marry you yet, but I am saying that I love you. So it could mean that he loves both and still might end up proposing to Jessica. I mean, there's a lot of wiggle room there. It's not likely given the scenario. And also it should be noted that Chelsea didn't reciprocate. But Chelsea certainly looked like she was very, very happy about the situation with Jimmy. But who knows, actually, because, that response that she had could have been elation, but also like, uh-oh, I might have to break up with him. Anyway, so then Laura goes to Jessica and says, you gotta go. Leads with that. It's my mission to protect you at all costs. What is that? This is like hints of Lydia right now. Whisper, whisper. It's time for you to go. You should go. You should leave on your own. Okay, well, how about you tell her what the fuck is going on? Can you imagine in Jessica's shoes? You're like, what do you mean? Is the place on fire? I'm just going to leave because you told me to? I have as far as I know, I'm still in the 50-50 zone with Jimmy. And you just come over here and say, you got to go? What are you talking about?
He chose her.
I'm not saying anything.
Right. So the natural conclusion from Jessica is, so he chose her, and she says, I'm not going to say anything, but, so, it's so convoluted. Why can't Jessica and Chelsea just talk? Why does it have to be whisper, whisper from separate sides of the room? So, yeah. So if I were Jessica, I guess I would sift through this conversation. We'll see where it goes. But I would just go straight to Chelsea, and I'd say, hey, I'm not fighting. But my life kind of depends on what Jimmy thinks. And if you have any information, it might be nice to hear. Plus, Laura's telling her to leave, but we saw no indication that Jimmy was for sure, like 100% for sure, not going to choose Jessica. So what is she doing?
Why?
I just want you to leave on your own accord. What's going on? I wonder what dynamic developed between these two that she would feel responsible. It's my duty to protect you at all costs, no matter what the consequence. And she just keeps repeating this phrase. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. It's certainly a nice gesture from Laura. She's not like a jerk face. It's just a weird way to go about taking care of someone. I don't understand. Do people think of Jessica as this fragile flower? Just tell her. Well, what Laura should do is go to Chelsea and say, so I feel like Jessica should know. Is it okay if I tell her? And then Chelsea would probably say, I guess. Or if I were Chelsea, I'd be like, I'll tell her. I don't like this triangulation. It's a weird conversation, but I can't imagine Jessica getting hostile. It's, she knows the deal. So at the very least, if you're Laura, you would go to, because Chelsea confided quietly, and I'm sure Laura doesn't have confirmation that Chelsea is okay with this whole thing. And then, because if that happened, Chelsea would be like, no, Jessica, don't go. Jimmy did not say, and I'm not even saying I want to be with him yet. I'm still on the fence. So, you're still in the running. There's no reason. So this is so weird. I just want you to go on your own accord, meaning that I don't want you to be dumped and then leave. I mean, it's so weird because she's dumped either way, according to Laura, which I don't think she is. In fact, I know she's not actually dumped. At the very least, she's not officially dumped. I mean, if I put my money down, I would say she's dumped, but I wouldn't put a lot of money down. And she's dumped either way. And so Laura's like, I want you to, like, she's worried about her pride. I don't think that Jessica cares that much about that. The stakes are too high.
Just trust me.
Tell me why.
No, just trust me. I'm sorry.
Just trust me on this. And then Jessica's like, tell me why. I can't just go off of your rant. What are you talking about? The sky's the limit, right? In terms of, did he choose her? Did we just find out that Jimmy got run over by a car? Like, what happened?
He's not your man. He's not your man.
Can you please tell me why?
He's not your man. Promise. I'm telling you. We know he's not your man.
Now, maybe in the end, this will become true. So you just have to wonder, what is Laura? What are my notes on Laura? Do I have any notes on her? She's all I have is that she likes to be clean. Her and Jeremy both confided. Oh, right. She was the quote unquote. Was she the quote unquote OCD person? Yeah, I think she was. Meaning that she didn't demonstrate that she had OCD or even understood it because she said she needed the house to be clean before she had sex. It's not OCD. It I suppose could be, but that's not how I would describe it if that's all I heard. So yeah, that's all we have on her. So what's going on with this person?
Baby, you saw when I walked in here. I know nothing.
I know nothing.
Is this because of something she told you or something that you heard?
Yeah. I mean, just imagine being in Jessica's shoes. You're just like, so I've asked 3 times what happened, and I've gotten these weird answers. So I'll ask a different way. Is it something that you heard?
Like, is this factual information?
I'm just saying, trust me.
I suppose if you wanted to play this weird game, then you wouldn't say leave. You would say, look, I can't tell you what I know, but I can tell you that I'm concerned. I'm worried about you. But so in my field of mental health, we have terms for this. I guess a metaphor would be you're inviting them to the party, but you don't let them in the house and they're outside. and you tell them this is going to be the best party of all time. It'll change your life. It'll like completely set you up for the future. And then you say, you just have to come to my house. And then you come and they never open the door for you. You know, it's very frustrating. It's this attractor, right? Because you're now intrigued and you can't walk away because you've been told something that you have to find the resolution for, right? But then there's this barrier because the Laura person holds all the cards. They know the information, and so they create this attractor, and then the barrier. You know, she is both the attractor and the barrier. She's saying, "Come here," and you're not allowed in, and it can be really crazy making. It can be really frustrating, and it can sometimes say something about the personality of the individual that they want to have that power, or they want that attention. They want to be at the center of it. They like to be there. Now, for these people, they don't wake up in the morning and say, ha ha ha, I'm going to be a drama queen or an attention person. But they might have come from a situation where they were actually triangulated a lot into their parents' lives and were like their parents' conflict and couldn't talk directly or else bad things would happen. So they're the manager of an impossible situation. They're comfortable there. They consider that to be their job. Because there were at least two other women that heard what Laura heard from Chelsea, and neither one of them had an impulse to come over and say something to Jessica. And what a thing that she says. Just leave. Just pack your shit and go. Just trust me. I'm on the verge of possibly being engaged to the person I love, and you're just asking me to comply. What if you're wrong? It sounds like you're very confident, but what if you're wrong? And she could be wrong is the thing. The other thing is, how does Laura even know that Chelsea is telling the truth? Maybe Chelsea misinterpreted or is lying as a way to get Laura to go over there and tell her to go home so that, like, there's too much at stake just to, like if, I'm at the ballpark and, I have sometimes a better analogy occurs to me. A good analogy for this is there will be times when, so Stacy has this phobia about holes. And I won't say anymore because I don't want to trigger. I have a slight version of this. Stacy has a big version of this. And there will be times when I will see something that I'm pretty sure will trigger her, like a poster or a flower or something. And I will grab her and I'll say, don't turn around. Believe me, just keep walking. And in that situation, she can, because even if I say what it is, it will at least partially trigger her, right? I say, just trust me, don't turn around, keep walking. Because she has a pretty big case of it. And so in that situation, I'm kind of doing what Laura's doing, but the stakes are so low because Stacy doesn't have to turn around, right? It's not imperative that she has the ability, we're probably just walking through the mall or something. But to go up to someone and say, I know you're on the verge of possibly marrying or getting engaged to the person that you love, that you really desperately, desperately love and have fallen in love with, and you're willing to share your family, your daughter, with this person. I know you're in that position, but just trust me, just walk away, just go home.
Oh no, baby.
You gotta protect your heart as much as you can at this point.
Protect your heart? Is it an effort to... Are they worried about her because she has a child? Like, why are they treating her this way? She's not a fragile little flower. Or do they know something more? But there's no avoiding the pain. You're just accelerating the onset. And we don't even know if he's going to break up with her. I think it's likely, but we don't know that. I mean, God knows what's going on in Jimmy's mind. He doesn't talk. So we don't know.
He's everything.
All right, so Jessica is just imagining what happened. If I were Jessica, I would assume, Chelsea just told you that he proposed or said he was going to propose or something. So that must have been what happened. But that isn't what happened. I thought it happened. When he says, I loved you to Chelsea, I thought, then it's a done deal. But then he was clear. He made sure to say, I'm not saying that I'm going to ask you to marry me. Now, maybe Jimmy is thinking, well, it's because I haven't officially told Jessica. I want to be able to tell her in person that I didn't choose her. So maybe that was it. But still, I don't know. I hope that if there is, let's just say there's a chance. Let's say there's a 5% chance. I just wish that they would have not interfered or interfered in a different way. Because now maybe Jessica will stick around. It doesn't look like she's leaving. So I think, and at the very least, even if it is over, it could help to have a conversation with him potentially. Although, who knows, with his way of communicating.
I can't believe this.
They don't have tissues? It seems like that would be in large supply. They just have paper towels? Or is Laura thinking, this is not a tissue situation, this is a paper towel situation?
I cannot believe he did this to
Right,
me.
he would never do this to you.
I know. I feel so stupid.
This isn't a reflection of you.
By any means.
This is not a reflection of you.
There's hints of Lydia with Laura. There's just real pointed, how about you just be there while she's sad? I don't understand this. It's nice to be told nice things, but I don't know. If I were Jessica, I'd be like, will you shut up? I don't need you to say that. And I didn't think it was a reflection on me. So I'm sad. just let me be with my emotions right now. What's this? Why is it all about you right now?
I really loved him. I know you did. I really did. I know you did.
But I don't know. Sometimes people want that sort of thing. So I'm just speaking, I guess, from the things that I want or would do in a situation like that. So what do I know?
I need to get up and I need to leave.
Wait, so we have to wait because we're heading into the hallway scene here between Clay and AD. So we don't know if she left. If I were there, I would say, I know everything that they know, and I would say, you don't have to leave. There might even be a bad idea to leave. We just don't know. So it doesn't look good, but you never know. And so, feel your feelings, but it might be something just to wait and see, to at least confirm. All right, well, let's stop there. Enough yammering out of me. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.